his best is what a backup does. This is what backups do.
They play about that.
They play for a few games, and then they get figured out. And there wasn't much to figure out with him, and he's been figured out here. So you can expect more of the same. How
hard is it? How tough is it for you guys to have such a good defense for you to be out there getting 5 sacks and putting the team on your back and just to not have any offense to go with it?
It doesn't get any easier each week you ask me. So.
The Cleveland Browns quarterback controversy just exploded into something nobody saw coming. Reports out of camp suggest offensive coordinator Tommy Rees has completely gone rogue, taking full control of training Shedeur Sanders after head coach Kevin Stefanski allegedly faked an injury to step away from practice sessions. What started as whispers of tension between the two coaches has now erupted into open rebellion inside the organization. Multiple insiders claim Rees was fed up with Stefanski's unwillingness to give Shedeur first-team reps. So when Stefanski suddenly pulled out of practices due to what was described as a minor strain, Rees took that as his opportunity to act.
I'm hopeful that he'll continue to improve.
And if I can ask a super quick follow-up on that, why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
Instead of following the usual practice protocol, he allegedly started running his own quarterback drills, giving Shedeur more time on the field than ever before, and the footage coming out of those sessions is setting the internet on fire. Sources inside the Browns facility describe the atmosphere as tense, almost divided. On one side, Rees and a group of offensive assistants reportedly believe Shedeur represents the team's best long-term hope, arguing that his poise, intelligence, and adaptability outshine the veterans in every category. On the other side, Stefanski has been accused of clinging to hierarchy football, prioritizing loyalty and structure over merit. The reported injury Stefanski used to excuse himself from a week of camp has become the center of attention, with players allegedly joking that it wasn't a real setback, just an excuse to step back from the escalating conflict.
What was the thinking behind that and how'd that go?
Yeah, he obviously came in Saturday with his back injury. We were hopeful that he'd be able to move around well enough to suit up on Sunday, but put him through a pregame warm-up, and obviously just didn't feel like he was.
That move, intentional or not, left the door wide open for Rees to take over, and according to multiple eyewitnesses, he wasted no time reshaping the quarterback drills to focus almost entirely on Shedeur. The footage that's leaked from those sessions paints a clear picture. Rees was in full control, commanding the field, coaching Shedeur through complex reads, and pushing him harder than ever. One clip shows Rees yelling instructions mid-play as Shedeur delivers perfect strikes under pressure, while other players, including several veterans, stand back, watching in quiet disbelief. It wasn't just an impromptu practice. It looked like a takeover. Analysts who've reviewed the leaked clips say Shedeur's mechanics and pocket presence have improved drastically since these sessions began. One insider even said, Rees wasn't just coaching him, he was building an offense around him. That statement alone speaks volumes about how fractured things have become within the Browns organization.
No team is going to care that we have young guys. Guys around the league, young or old, are expected to make plays. And we had young guys step up and do that. But there's no expectation of you when you come in. There's less expected of you or more expected of you. The job is to win.
What's more, several players have privately admitted that morale shifted almost immediately once Rees took the reins. One player described it as the first time we felt energy in weeks. The offense reportedly moved smoother, communication improved, and Shedeur's leadership became more noticeable. Even players who had doubts about him early on started showing respect after watching him thrive under Rees's guidance. But while the locker room might have been buzzing, higher-ups inside the Browns front office were far less thrilled. Word of Rees's unsanctioned practices reached team executives within days, and according to multiple sources, Stefanski wasn't happy when he found out. The head coach reportedly confronted Rees behind closed doors, accusing him of overstepping authority. And what followed was said to be one of the most heated internal arguments the Browns have seen in years. Now the team is caught in a full-blown power struggle. Stefanski's injury leave looks increasingly suspicious. Rees's boldness has split the coaching staff, and Shedeur's role in the middle of it all has become both a blessing and a curse. He's proving himself every day, but at what cost to the team's unity? Behind the scenes, this situation is getting uglier by the day. According to insiders, Stefanski's alleged injury, first reported as a back issue, conveniently came right after a closed-door meeting with Rees that ended in visible frustration.
See Myles Garrett walking around with his shirt off? We got to have that ready to roll. You know I'm mic'd up. I hope that makes it. I hope that makes it. Ball's on the right hash. Quick game. Push our timing on this. Ball's out.
Witnesses say the argument centered on Rees's insistence that Shedeur needed more live reps with the first team, while Stefanski refused, claiming it would disrupt rhythm and send the wrong message to the veterans. Not long after that, Stefanski announced he'd be temporarily stepping back to focus on recovery, but nobody inside the building bought the excuse. Word quickly spread that the injury was exaggerated or completely fabricated to avoid further confrontation. With Stefanski out of the picture, Rees reportedly saw an opportunity to take matters into his own hands. He restructured the camp schedule overnight, bringing Shedeur into film sessions usually reserved for the starters. Instead of sticking to the developmental drills planned for rookies, Rees put Shedeur in simulated game situations against defensive starters, and the results stunned everyone watching. He was reading coverages faster than anyone expected, one assistant coach reportedly said. You could see right there why Rees believes he's special.
I'm frustrated. I want to win. I don't care how much time is on the clock. They got their starters in. There's a chance we can win. I want to be a part of that. I don't care how dire the situation looks. I'm want to try to make something happen. So I hate coming out of those situations. I hate, that kind of inevitability and not being able to do anything about it, because I want to win. I'll do anything.
By midweek, Rees had Shedeur leading full offensive sets, barking calls at the line, adjusting protections, the kind of responsibilities reserved for a QB1. It was a clear statement. Rees wasn't waiting for permission anymore. The tension didn't stop there. Word of the takeover reached other departments, with some staffers reportedly told to stay neutral and avoid discussing practice structure outside the building. But with cell phones and social media everywhere, that was impossible. Clips of Shedeur's precision throws under Rees's supervision started leaking online, each one sparking more conversation about how dysfunctional the Browns' leadership had become. Fans quickly turned on Stefanski, accusing him of sabotaging Shedeur's development for political reasons. One viral comment read, "How's your back, coach?" because the team's backbone just became Rees and Shedeur. What makes this all the more explosive is that Shedeur hasn't said a word publicly. He's kept his head down, showing up to practice, running drills, and avoiding any comments that might deepen the divide.
If you're here, you're here.
Okay.
I'm coming up high. Good?
Here we go.
Eyes down the field.
Set.
Good, we're reading those seams.
That silence has made him look even more disciplined in the eyes of fans, and now public sympathy is squarely on his side. Meanwhile, insiders say Stefanski has been scrambling to regain control of the narrative. He reportedly told close associates that Rees's actions were unprofessional and disruptive to the team structure, but those words haven't landed well, especially since the footage shows Shedeur thriving under the new setup. League insiders are watching closely too. Several analysts have pointed out that this situation could have major consequences for the Browns' leadership chain. If Stefanski and Rees can't find common ground, it could force the front office to choose sides, and the decision might come down to performance. Right now, it's Rees's offense producing results, not Stefanski's. That fact alone could reshape everything about how the Browns move forward this season. What started as a hidden disagreement over reps has now evolved into a public battle for control, and one that might define both men's careers. As this drama unfolds, fans and analysts are piecing together the deeper story, and what they're discovering says a lot about the power dynamics inside NFL franchises. Tommy Rees, known for his fiery competitiveness and willingness to break norms, reportedly felt boxed in under Stefanski's rigid system.
They announce on game day that Shedeur has a quote-unquote back injury, yet he did go out to warm up. They watched him warm up and they disqualified him because he's got a back injury. I don't trust it for 1 second. Bailey Zappi has I said it 5 times on the show, he's been the unofficial, unstated backup quarterback all along.
When he accepted the offensive coordinator role, he expected creative freedom, especially in quarterback development. But sources say Stefanski micromanaged every decision, leaving Rees frustrated and voiceless. That frustration boiled over once Shedeur entered the picture. Rees saw potential, while Stefanski saw risk. It's a classic clash of philosophies. The daring play caller versus the conservative head coach. Rees' gamble to train Shedeur in defiance of Stefanski's orders has turned him into both a hero and a villain. To some inside the organization, he's the bold leader doing what's best for the team. To others, he's reckless, risking his job and undermining authority. But one thing everyone agrees on is that Shedeur's progress under Rees has been undeniable. Reports say he's sharper, faster, and more confident than ever. During one scrimmage session, Shedeur reportedly ran a 2-minute drill that ended in 3 consecutive completions, the kind of execution coaches dream of. Rees allegedly turned to the sidelines afterward and said, "This is what they're afraid of." That comment, if true, reveals just how deep the resentment towards Stefanski might go. Fans are also starting to notice the cultural shift happening around Shedeur. For months, many questioned if he could handle the NFL pressure, if he was just Deion's kid or a real leader. But after seeing him work under these chaotic circumstances, that narrative has changed completely. The word unflappable is being thrown around frequently. Even some veteran analysts have admitted that Shedeur's discipline amid the chaos has earned their respect. It's rare for a rookie to show that kind of composure while caught in the middle of a coaching storm. Yet here he is, proving that he's not just another prospect. He's built different. The question now is what happens next. Stefanski's credibility is hanging by a thread, and every day he stays silent, Rees' influence grows stronger. Inside sources claim that players have started rallying behind Rees, viewing him as the one who's actually fighting for the team's future. One lineman allegedly told reporters off the record, "Rees believes in his guys. That's why we believe in him." That kind of loyalty doesn't come easy, and it's exactly the kind of thing that scares front offices. When players start choosing sides, the cracks in leadership become impossible to ignore. The Browns front office now faces a dangerous balancing act. Firing Rees could alienate both fans and players, but letting him continue unchecked could make Stefanski look powerless. Neither option is ideal, and both could destabilize the team before the season even begins. But as long as Shedeur keeps improving, Rees' defiance might actually be saving the Browns from themselves. What looked like mutiny might end up being the best thing that ever happened to this team if they can survive the fallout. The situation between Tommy Rees and Kevin Stefanski has officially reached breaking point, and it's now spilling beyond the locker room. League insiders are reporting that upper management has quietly intervened, calling emergency meetings to restore structure inside the Browns organization. But restoring structure might be impossible at this stage. Too much has already leaked, too many players have taken sides, and the public has seen too much to believe everything is fine. The story of a head coach allegedly faking an injury to avoid confrontation has turned Cleveland into the NFL's biggest talking point. And the irony is, the controversy is actually boosting the team's visibility. For once, people aren't talking about the Browns for losing. They're talking about internal revolution. The real wild card in all this is Shedeur Sanders. He didn't ask to be in the middle of a power struggle, but he's quickly becoming the symbol of it. Fans see him as the embodiment of change. Young, fearless, and talented enough to threaten the old order. Insiders say that since Rees took over his training, Shedeur has gained a new edge, quicker reads, stronger throws, and an even more vocal command in the huddle. Some players have reportedly started referring to him as QB1, even if unofficially. That alone shows how much the team's energy has shifted, but for all the progress, the politics remain the biggest obstacle. If Stefanski returns and tries to reassert control, things could get ugly fast. There's also growing speculation about how the front office will respond publicly. Some executives want to downplay everything, framing it as miscommunication during a competitive camp. Others believe it's time for transparency, acknowledging the internal tension and promising a resolution. Either way, the longer they wait, the more credibility they lose. Fans are demanding accountability, and media outlets are already circling for interviews with both coaches. If Stefanski doesn't address the fake injury claim soon, he risks being painted as weak or deceitful, two labels no NFL head coach wants attached to his name. What's undeniable is how much Tommy Rees' gamble has reshaped the narrative. In a league known for conformity, he's become the rare coach willing to risk everything for a player he believes in. Some insiders say it's reminiscent of the early days of Sean Payton's mentorship with Drew Brees, an unorthodox, risky alliance that ultimately changed everything. Whether Rees and Shedeur can replicate that success remains to be seen, but one thing's clear, this partnership has already shaken the Browns to their core. At this point, the Browns aren't just fighting for a starting quarterback, they're fighting for their identity. Are they a team led by rigid structure and hierarchy, or one willing to embrace the new generation of leadership and innovation? The answer might determine their entire future. If Shedeur's breakout under Rees continues, the franchise could be forced into a complete leadership overhaul. But if internal politics win out, the Browns risk repeating their old mistakes, silencing progress for the sake of control. Either way, the rest of the league is watching closely. Every move Cleveland makes from this point forward will send a message about loyalty, innovation, and the cost of change. One thing's for sure, this story is far from over, and the battle for the Browns' future has only just begun. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Field Talks for more breaking NFL stories, exclusive training camp leaks, and unfiltered analysis from inside the game.